We first started growing in a high tunnel greenhouse back in 2016. It was a greenhouse that I made from scratch on just scrap materials that I had laying around. We were growing in that for about 5 or 6 years, and we really liked growing food in there. And then after we outgrew that, we wanted something bigger. And today is a start to finish before and after video of how we built our new high tunnel. It took probably a good year of living at this new place on where we're gonna put this high tunnel. Actually, this is the only flattest part on our property. There's no trees, it gets no shade, and it's full sun all day long. The first challenge is getting it off this semi truck. We don't have a tractor here, so the only way to do it is piece by piece. Now this is a Haven high tunnel, a Farmer's Friend kit. Everything is already pre-cut for you. It also came with the wood that was pre-cut. We needed to put our big boy pants on because this was definitely a workout. You know it's gonna be fun when the project comes with about 1 million screws and bolts in bags. Pounding in these posts is probably the most tedious work, other than maybe the wiggle wire we gotta do. This high tunnel is 72 foot long by 16 feet wide. There needs to be 15 inches from the ground up top here, out of the ground. I would say this is the most important part because you need to get everything straight, square, because everything else is gonna come off these poles. We have to pound in these poles 26 inches deep in the ground. And then we're gonna go 16 feet wide. We have measure tape wide and then measure tape diagonal. And then we're gonna do the same for the final 4th post corner. Some tricks of the trade and things I learned while doing this. This part keeps mushrooming out on my post pounder. We're gonna use this scrap metal post, and then we're gonna pound this so that way this can get messed up and then this won't. Now I should have used more knee pads on this project because I was crawling around a lot. For this I used a string line more than one time, and this is gonna help us keep all these posts straight as you work your way down. Even these straps, included all that. Oh yeah, 400 wood screws. This is another party. Every 4 feet all the way down on both sides. That's gonna make this structure just that much more stronger. Before I forget, we should put some landscape fabric because around here the weeds do not care about your feelings. Looking back at this now, we should have either doubled up on this landscape fabric or made it twice as wide. From the middle of this second pole all the way over, we're going another 48 inches, and we'll keep doing that all the way down. The wood, the pole, the landscape fabric, 23 more posts to pound. Now putting in these posts was going pretty good. Tedious, but they were going in pretty easy until that pole is not going down. Must have hit a rock, a root, or something. All these went down pretty easy, except for that one. Man, I was hoping that would not happen. Now the way it is designed, we needed that top post to be like that, the way it is. So I could not just cut this off. And so the only thing to do is dig it out of the ground. Come on, baby. Yeah. 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 And it didn't bend. Oh man. And then cut it to length and then bury it in the ground. There you go. Just using the same hole there that I pulled it out of, just shorten it. We had 24 2x6s, and then we have 24 of these that we need to install on both sides. Although this is the flattest part of the property, it also has the worst soil. It's very hard and compacted, and there was no way I was just going to use a T-post pounder for this. So I needed something a little bit stronger, like this gas-powered T-post pounder. Now this metal piece is like a drip edge, and it's going to protect the wood, but also it's going to lock in the roll-up sides when they're rolled down. If you're gonna ever build a greenhouse like this, I suggest doing it in the fall or even winter. Dead of summer, no way. I would not have survived out here. Putting in all these posts definitely was the most hardest part because everything needed to be straight and there were so many of them. So after we're done there, now comes the fun part. And then you use some self-tapping screws, and you want to make sure you don't put the screw on the top where the plastic's going to go because it's going to tear the plastic. So you got to put the screw on the side or the bottom. Now I imagine if you have 2, maybe 4 people working on this all at the same time, you could probably get this greenhouse done in a day because there's no cutting involved. Everything's already pre-cut. You just gotta assemble everything. And that's it. It makes it a little bit more heavy duty, more durable, and we need to do that all the way down. Now to put up these arches, all hands on deck. The whole familia needed to be out here.
All right, there we go.
It goes all the way in. Somebody to guide it. There you go. You gotta wiggle it in. And then installing the screws, 2 screws at each post. You see here, I wised up and started wearing knee pads. It would not make sense for me to put these on first because they just slide off. The pole goes right through there at the middle there, and then you tighten these. Now the ridge pole is going to tie everything in together so that way they're not swaying back and forth. This is what's going to hold the plastic after you put the wiggle wire inside this. We're going to have to bend this all the way on this arch. So the easiest way to do that is get a clamp. If you're working by yourself, you got to clamp it down. It's a little tedious putting it in that all the way down because you got to try to make it look as straight as possible. We're getting there, guys. We're getting there. Because the next part of it is putting on the plastic. And I did not want to put the plastic on when it was cold because when it's warmed up, it's easier to stretch the plastic and try to make it as tight as possible. If we're gonna wrap a rock, it'll be easier a rock or some kind of ball to wrap the rope around, and then we're gonna pull it over.
Tie it in a double knot.
Now what I've learned over the years is that don't get regular plastic, clear plastic from your local hardware store because it's not UV treated. Greenhouse plastic is, and this plastic should last 4 to 6 years as long as we don't get any more hailstorms. All right. Lorraine's pulling hers. Go ahead, Penelope. All right. The rock's stuck in the middle. We gotta guide it, Penelope.
Don't.
We need to move this.
Yeah, you need to move.
We should move this. It's windy. Man, it wasn't windy all day. And of course, when we started pulling the plastic, it started getting windy. So ideally, you don't want it to be windy while doing this. Hold on. And the rocks that we tied up kept getting caught up top in the middle. Now, if it was more smoother, like say a tennis ball, that would probably be best. Man, these are boulders you picked out. But the rocks worked pretty good. And then pulling it to make it look all even and straight, and just trying to be careful not to tear it.
That was good.
Yeah, Penelope. You did it.
There we go. Got it. That was so cool, guys. You know?
You got it?
We did it. Yeah. This side kind of went up a little bit, and I was afraid we were going to lose it over the edge, but we did have a little tear somewhere along here, but it's on the edge. No.
All right.
Right there.
Oh, that's not bad.
No, there is a hole though, but it's on the edge.
Yeah.
So it kept getting stuck on that thing, but it's fine.
Oh man. And then really just keep working it back and forth, making sure it's all even, it's tight, straight, and then securing it with the wiggle wire at the ends. We're not done yet. Yeah. We gotta do the sides, but the two ends are done.
What?
At least it's not gonna fly away. We have 72 foot long wiggle wire all the way down on this channel lock, and then we have to do, there's two channel locks here, so down here, and then on the other side as well. Damn, yeah, we did it. 72 feet long, man. You know, just us three. And it wasn't too bad. I would say that took about 2 hours to do. Both sides channel locks are done. That was a channel lock marathon. Good job. Penelope, good job. Yeah. I am liking how the top came out. I mean, that's pretty taut. We need bar. There's two of these bars, and this is what's gonna hold, or what's gonna roll it up. It's gonna follow on. It's like a track. Lock washer. So now we did the right side, let's do the left side. Same way, you just slip that on. These are the clips that came with. We're gonna put these clips, you snap them inside these channel locks, and then we're gonna run a rope right through that. And this is gonna hold these sides down. The rope's not gonna go all the way around. They're just gonna be on the sides. There are these eye bolts all the way down. We're gonna fish this rope all the way through the eye bolts first. Just wind it back down. All right, now that the main structure is done, we need to build the two end walls. And this first end wall was actually a kit. Everything was included except the wood. Oh, oh, I saw that coming. I saw that coming. Now I wanted to keep this end as wide open as possible in case I need to bring a vehicle in here and back in to dump some soil. Now we're pulling this tight. We're putting in extra wiggle wire, but we're just popping it in the same channel with another wiggle wire and just pulling it tight. For around the opening, you have wide washers with screws that you just screw it in all the way around. And then we can roll up the door. And then the next step is we need to enclose this side. This side is the main side that we're gonna go in and out of. On the other side, not so much. That's why we left it large and open. The doors are gonna be for ventilation. Also, it needs to be wide enough for a wheelbarrow. Another criteria is that it needs to look pretty. It needs to be functional at the same time. It can be both, it can be. I'm using these metal straps that you can buy separately from Farmer's Friend. These go around the poles and then a bolt goes through there. And then you could attach the 2x4 to this. This end wall is not a kit. I'm just bought a 2x4s, and the only thing I purchased was these. Because I'm putting on doors and hinges, and you kind of want to make the doorway as straight as possible. You know, it's going to be a little bit difficult being that the ground's not perfectly straight, but you just want to do your best. So this is a Haven high tunnel from Farmer's Friend, and it's a Gothic high tunnel. The shape of the Gothic high tunnel is meant for snow load, a heavy snow load, and also wind. I'm glad we chose this style because we had a huge hurricane come through here. Trees fell down, pig structures flipped over, but the high tunnel, nothing happened to it. Also, we had a good hailstorm come through. And because the plastic was very tight when we built it, the hail that was falling down just bounced right off of it. I'm using the creases in the plastic to help me kind of make it look straight. We're getting so close here, guys. We're getting so close. This is the rollers for that track. It's like a kit. Comes together with everything. I bought this at Tractor Supply. Yeah, we need something to lift this top vent up here. I put hinges on the top so it opens up. And the trick is to prop it up without having to get on a ladder. And then to close from the inside, I added a little notch. And then after I finished this end wall, we are done. It took maybe about 6 months of working on this high tunnel off and on to finally finish it. And during the building process, we also had to pipe in water, which was a big job for us because we had to trench about 300 feet from our well that goes directly into this high tunnel. Because the ground here is not very good, it was very hard and compacted, we had to bring in soil. Now, maybe in the future we might build raised garden beds in here. I don't know, I don't really want to, but I know that would probably help us with weeds also. We also grew more hot peppers this year since we started selling our own hot sauce, and this high tunnel has helped us with that because these hot peppers love this high tunnel. We had to put in this baby gate and also some chicken wire on the sides to keep our chickens out. And that works. Another thing we did was put everything on a drip tape system and have everything on a timer. And then because everything was on a timer, I think everything grew that much better. We really didn't want to put landscape fabric, but man, it helped us a lot this season. Because it's just having the time to come out here and pull weeds every day, multiple days out of the week. I mean, it's just a lot when you have everything else going on. Now, we're still not perfect in growing in this high tunnel. We're still learning, and we're always going to keep learning. And every single year, the vegetables will grow better and better. And the soil will just get better and better. So all in all, we love growing in this high tunnel. The food loves growing in it. And the pigs, they love eating from it also. So this is the before and the after. Now the reason why we put that greenhouse there, so that way we'll have more room to put another one here eventually. I do have a link for you guys down below in the show notes of everything we used to grow food in this high tunnel. Now if you want to see another video of that smaller DIY greenhouse, I'll have that link right here. It works. It's scrappy, but it works. Thank you guys for watching.